Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Learn with Jason. Today on the show, we have Obinna. Obinna, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, I'm just super pumped to have you here. I feel like we've been talking for a while, and this is our first chance to really sit down and build something together. So this is going to be a blast. So for those of
Yeah.
us who are not familiar with you, do you want to give us a bit of a background?
Oh yeah. So my name is Obinna Ekwuno. I live in Lagos, Nigeria. I work at Gatsby JS as a software engineer on the DevRel team. A fun fact about me would be I like to write poetry. I do poetry on the weekends and I play Call of Duty. Like that's what I do.
Nice. That's very cool. Today we are going to dig into some Gatsby stuff, right? We're going to look at building a Gatsby site. So I think like maybe a fun thing to talk about for a minute is like why would you choose Gatsby as a framework for a site if you were going to build one?
Yeah. So mostly I love to use Gatsby to like build stuff because it gives me like some of it cuts like steps for me to like start creating like a fully functional application
Mm,
by offering like some starters and stuff. So you can even have like a whole Gatsby site built already that you could just like go in and customize what you want. So it's it saves like the time for like all the beginner stuff, and then it helps you do it right, because getting it
mm.
right the first time is really hard. And I also love the accessibility, like built in like stuff like routing. Those are like the things that like I love about Gatsby and why I would like use Gatsby to build up stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, cool. So I think on that note, maybe we should just hop right in and start building something. So let me switch over to our pair programming screen.
Yeah.
And so this is Obinna's Twitter profile. Make sure you go give a follow. Um, what's up, Nikki? Thanks for the boops. But yeah, so this is yeah, human. I love that. Okay, so yeah, make sure you go follow Obinna and let's look at the Gatsby site here a little bit. So if we're gonna build a site, one thing that I've noticed is that Gatsby has kind of fragmented the ways that you get started. Like there are starters, there are themes, there are recipes.
Yeah.
What's the difference and why would I choose one over the other?
Yeah. So a Gatsby starter is kind of like I said, it's a full site that you can easily like customize, and then
Mhm.
you can like use to like create the stuff that you want. So you can have
Hey,
so
thank you for
you
the
can have
sub.
like a yeah, you can have like a starter that, let's say, it's a blog or it's a e-commerce site already built out, and you can just continue from there. And a theme is like a plugin, but then it has like what we call a Gatsby config like JS file. And
Okay.
what that means is like it has its own configurations that you can kind of, so you have so themes offers you the ability to have like multiple sites like themes ready, and then you can
Mhm.
just link them into the site you're trying to build, which is like a really cool feature because you can take from different places and like make something awesome.
Yeah.
Um, recipes is like a way. So usually, if you're trying to build like a Gatsby site, you have like the whole oh, I'm trying to install this, I'm trying to add authentication, I'm trying to do this or that. So recipes kind of offers you a way to just install all the things you need to install with a single command from CLI. So
Cool.
yeah.
Very cool. Okay. So I think then, if so, what should we build today? Like we could build a blog. We could build, we could do photo sharing. We could do a whole bunch of things. What do you think would be the
Yeah.
most fun?
Let's try to do let's do a portfolio stuff,
Portfolio.
because
Okay.
like that would be cool to just get like photos in.
Excellent. I'm into
That'd
it.
be
So,
that'd be fun. Yeah.
if we want to do that, let's go into this folder. Where should I start?
So if let's maybe we should use the let's get something. What do you think? Should we get something plain, like maybe the Hello World starter? So Gatsby has
I
like a bunch of like yeah.
Yeah, I
You
kind of
saying?
like that idea. I'm a big fan of let's start with an empty folder and let's see what happens as we add each piece.
Yeah.
So Hello World sounds good to me.
All right. Cool.
Okay, you want me to do that? Just
Yeah.
we'll do npx Gatsby so that we get the Gatsby CLI, and then you want to remind me the command?
Gatsby new.
And then
Gatsby new. The name of like the project you're trying to. So maybe what can we call it?
Let's see.
I really love this book.
Nikki says we need to have corgis, so let's call it Corgfolio. Huh?
Oh, neat. That's cool.
All right. And then I need to choose a starter, right?
Yeah.
And how do I do that again?
So we can Google. So usually what I do is I just Google like Gatsby Hello World starter, and you can just get the GitHub link and then link that. Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the link in the chat, and then I just paste this in right here.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that would get you start with the Hello World. So why I like to like use the Hello Worlds, because like it's plain, it doesn't have like plugins, and then so when you start adding stuff in, you don't have like those errors of something is showing up in like 2 other places.
Oh, another good suggestion from the chat was to call it Poetfolio so that you could share your. That's also a good one.
That's nice. That'd be nice.
Hello, everyone. Hey, I see Amberly, Ice Cream Tango.
Hello.
What's up, y'all? It's good to see you here. So let's talk a little bit about kind of what's our plan here while we're waiting for this to install. So we're going to build a portfolio. And so a portfolio, if I was doing it, I would want like the name of the project, a short little description, and like a screenshot or a picture to go with it. So we could do this. Like one of the nice things about Gatsby, right, is that you can kind of pull your data from anywhere. So what's your favorite way to pull data into a site?
I really love like Contentful. So like I would love to like put that out there, like use Contentful to source data into Gatsby.
Yeah,
and
let's do it.
Just a sneak peek into what we're going to do. We're going to use like a new way to source data. So that's something to look forward to. Yeah,
let's do it. So while we're waiting for the Gatsby site to install, actually it looks like it just finished. Oh no, I got an error.
Oh.
No, it looks like it finished, and then I just got like a weird error at the end. So let's take a look at the site and see if anything's broken. We called this Corgfolio. Look at this. I have so many things that are about corgis that I can't auto-complete that. Okay, so let's open this up in a code editor.
Yeah.
And let's see here. We've got our node module. So it looks like it installed everything. It's got everything I would expect in the Hello World starter. Here's our Gatsby config, and there's nothing to it. We've got a package JSON that's got Gatsby React and React DOM. Excellent. Yeah, it looks like this worked. I don't know what that error was, so maybe we'll just ignore it and hope it goes away.
Yeah.
All right, so then we're gonna need a Contentful site. So let me get started with Contentful.
Yeah.
Am I on that page? I'm on that page. So what am I supposed to be seeing here? Built by devs, try for free. Let's see if I can do this. I'm a little bit worried that I have. Oh, whoops. Just a second while I get this all figured out.
So another thing is like there's a Gatsby Contentful starter, which would have been like, because that's already like set up and stuff. But maybe
it's kind of nice to learn how it gets set up.
How it gets set up, yeah.
I think because that starter is great once you already understand. What I found with starters and stuff like that is that if you start with the starter, if you're not just trying to get something out there that you never think about again, then the risk that you run is that you like don't really know what's going on under the hood. So when you have questions, it's really hard to even know where to start looking. Exactly. And so what I like about standing it up this way is that it'll give us, oh, come on, in the wrong window over here. Here we go. 3, there we go. All right. So now that we're in, good. They're gonna make me answer questions. Great, got it. Oh, come on. Really? Weird. Okay.
What's happening?
It like auto completed my deploy a website, explore content.
Hi, Chris.
What's up, Chris? Thank you for the sub. Okay, which way do you think we want to go here? Do we want to? I feel like we probably want to explore content modeling because we already know what we're doing for deploying the site, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah.
Preparing our space. Okay. So, do you want to talk a little bit about like what do you like about Contentful? What makes it your choice for a content management platform?
Yeah, really, mostly because like it's the first CMS I used, and like because like the way it so I can have like 2 free what's it called workspaces. Like it's not really it's just my CMS of choice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like it's kind of like this cartoon I watch when someone tells him to pick his weapon of choice and he picks a straw. Like, why? Like, this is what I want to use.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
cool. So let's see. It looks like we were able to get started. It's got us in the space home. Did it give us a bunch of sample content? It did. So it gave us
Yeah.
sample content. Should I just delete all this?
Yeah, so that we can like show how to like actually set this up.
Yeah, let's do it. So I've selected all of these and I want to, nope. Do I have an option? Unpublish.
Oh, this was just unpublished.
I wonder if I have to unpublish before I can delete. There we go. Yeah. So you can't delete published content. I get it. Permanent delete. Yeah. YOLO.
Yes, please.
So this will put us in an empty setup. Now we'll do content. It looks like we don't need any of this either. So I believe, can I not just like delete these?
This is weird.
Delete. Okay, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to ignore these. So let's just add a content type. So what should we call our first content type here? Or actually, do we need multiples?
Yeah, we do need like an author, and then would need a like say it's like what would I call this? Would I call this
like a
photo or like what?
Like portfolio piece?
Yeah,
yeah, like,
and then
maybe we can, let's just call it like portfolio item because that's super clear. We won't miss that up. Let's see, an entry we want to display in our portfolio.
Naming things is always hard.
It definitely is. Okay, so we have our portfolio item, and so then we have to use the default editor, use the custom editor. I don't know. Let's see. Let's maybe just start with adding a field. So what should our first field be?
Probably the title.
Okay, so what you think text for that?
Yeah, that text would be good.
Okay. And then maybe we'll just give this like project name. Short text, that sounds right. Good. More than one to store. Let's see. Like several names. No, we're not doing that. So should we configure? Is there anything else we're going to need on this, do you think?
No.
Okay, let's just create it. Then we're going to need media because we want to do an image of the project. So let's do like a project screenshot. I might shorten that to screenshot. And I feel like for the sake of keeping it simple, maybe we stick with one file.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for the sub, Jimena. Good to see you. Let's create that. And then what else did we say? We wanted a description.
Yeah, we would want a description for like the content. So
Okay.
maybe
Should we do a rich text?
Rich text. Yeah.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Mostly, I get this question a lot. Like, why would you rich text and not just text? Because like, so I figured that was because most people would want to add like say photos and stuff or like screenshots to descriptions or something, or add like a GIF or something.
Oh, this is cool. So check this out. I wanted to see what the configuration options were for rich text, and you can just like disable stuff. So like we don't want an H1 because the page is going to have an H1, right?
Yeah.
And so we can turn that off and like prevent our content editors from accidentally doing things that would be bad for SEO.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I didn't know that was possible. See, embedded entries and assets. This seems like something we probably don't want, right? Like
don't need, yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that. We'll leave those out. Keep it as simple as possible. Validation. Oh, we can make it required. We can limit it.
We can maybe make it require like an auto.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know if we can do that from this field, but we can definitely add it. I like this. This is really cool. All right. And then you said we need an author, right? So, well, actually, this is a good question. If this is our blog or our portfolio, do we need an author, or can we just say like all of these are my projects?
So, if this was like if I was building for myself, then I wouldn't need like an author. But like if for example, if I wanted to have like stuff for like my friends, all that, then probably want to do who posted what.
Okay. Well, let's maybe we should make a call here. Do we want to do this as a portfolio for one person, or this is like a shared portfolio? What do you think?
You said?
Do you want to
for a minute?
Oh, no worries. Do you want to do this as an individual portfolio or as a shared portfolio?
Maybe an individual portfolio. I see.
Okay.
I see. Chinelo wants. Yeah. Someone wants us to do it as a single one.
Okay, cool. Let's do it that way. So we'll save this content model, and now we've got a portfolio item. And so then I believe if we go over to our content, we should be able to add a portfolio item. Nice. Okay. So let's say, oh, you know what? I actually made something that's perfect for this. We'll call the first one Corgi memes. And then I'm going to create a new asset and link. And we'll call this the Drake meme. I think we accidentally enabled localization here. And then we'll say a variation on the Drake meme with corgi heads instead of Drake's.
Do we have a photo of that?
Yeah, I do. This is what I spent my time doing yesterday. I'm technically on vacation right now. I took time off from yesterday through next Monday. And so I made this because that's how I spend my free time apparently. So let's see here.
That's funny.
Okay, so I'm going to publish that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, is it done? So then I'm going to hit this button here, I think.
Let me see. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now we have a project name. We added that asset, and so that's there. And then, let's see.
I'm curious. Do we want to add like a? I don't think we need to add like a slug.
Won't it do that? Oh, it won't do that for us. We're going to need to create one. It won't do that.
Yeah, but I'm curious, but like because the way we're going to like query for this in the Gatsby starter might not require like the slug will be set from say the project name.
Yeah, so are we going to have Gatsby do that, or should we have Contentful give us a slug?
I think Gatsby would do that.
Okay, yeah. So let's publish one. And then let's do probably one more content piece. And let's call this one Blast Off, because I did another silly thing. Let me find it.
This is nice.
This is the other thing that I did with my time yesterday. So let's go here. I made this, which I don't know why I made this, but kind of making me smile. So let's drop this one in. No, not the German file. I don't want that. We don't want. I think I need to turn off the localization maybe so that we don't get ourselves in trouble. Hey, no, go back. What did I do? Here. Drop the file.
Yeah.
Try that again. There it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is our file. Can I just... Oh, nice. Okay, good call. Yeah, who just said to do that? Jordan, thank you for that.
Thanks,
so I
Jordan.
just unchecked that box and now it doesn't have a translation anymore. So Corgis in space. So we can publish that. And then we'll just keep that same. Okay. All right. So now we've got 2 portfolio items, and do you want to add more, or do you think 2 is enough to get us started?
I mean, two is good.
Okay, cool. So let's roll from there.
But if you have like some other nice photo, don't add some more.
These are the only 2 I made yesterday, so we can find more if we need them. But I think for now this is probably good. It'll let us get on the way, right?
Yeah.
So now I've got content in Contentful. We've got a Gatsby starter over here. How do we get them talking to each other?
So we would need like the Gatsby Contentful plugin.
Okay.
I guess like one thing we would need to like install. Gatsby source
this one here.
Gatsby source Contentful. Yeah.
Okay. So let me install that. We'll just we'll do it all from this command line now. And that'll show up in here once we get it. And let's look at what else we need while we're doing that. So we're going to need environment variables to the build process.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we need a Contentful access token. Good. And we need a space ID. So is this one the space ID? I'm assuming.
Your space ID should be. It should be in settings. So
maybe
there,
here.
the API keys. Yeah.
No.
I think you need to generate. Or should it be there?
Let's see, general settings. So here's the space ID in general settings.
Yeah.
So I can copy that. And I'll go into Gatsby config and just grab some of the things that we're going to need here. So we'll say space ID is going to be that. And then I need to get an API key as well, right?
An API key, yeah.
And that is an access token. What kind of access? Or wait, we don't need the delivery API though. We just need.
No. We.
Do we even need an access token, because the content from Contentful is public by default, right?
Yeah. So you might you would need an access token.
Okay. And we don't need the preview API. Okay, so delivery. So is delivery like published, and preview is if we want draft content?
Yeah. So you would need like the preview. Okay. Yeah, if you need like to enable some preview.
Got it. All right. So I'm going to add an API key, and this will be our portfolio, Gatsby site. We get a space. All right, so this is the content delivery API. I'll have to roll these tokens after the stream.
Yeah.
But these are read only, right? Like I'm not going to keep scrolling down in case there's a write token.
No. These are read only.
Okay. So what do you recommend if I want to put this into the environment? Like what's the standard path here?
So the way I would like enable so when you're dealing with like API keys and this space ID stuff, I would use like an environment variable.
Okay.
Because obviously you don't want to go push your secrets to like GitHub or something. Even though like I think there's a bot that tells you, oh, you've put in your .env file or something, but then that would be the best way to go about it.
Okay. So you want me to create a .env?
Yeah, that'd be
okay. And so we'll go contentful. What's it called out here? Access token.
Yep.
And then I'm going to paste in that API key. Good. So now, actually, one thing that I like to do is when I have like related bits of configuration, instead of, even though this doesn't need to be secret, I like keeping it in the same place, because then if I need to go change this later, I'm not like, oh, wait, where did I set the space ID? Where did I set the token?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we've got this. Do I need to do anything to get those environment variables here?
Yeah. So you would need to like do like a require. So Gatsby ships with like a .env. So you would just do like require .config.
Okay. So that gives us. So now we have access to our environment variables, and that should mean we can just drop this right in. And we can swap this one out for process.env.contentful space ID.
Yeah. So, yep.
Okay. So does that mean that we should have content now if I run the site?
Well, not really. So what you've done is like you've connected, oh, this is the space ID and this is where Gatsby is going to source things from. Mm-hmm. But you still need to like get that info into Gatsby.
Okay.
Maybe we can try to what's it called? We can try to because note that what we have in like index.js is just a text saying hello world.
Yeah. So if I wanted to see the data, like we've got enough now that I could actually look at the data though, right? Like in graphical or something?
Yeah, for sure. You can look at the data from graphical.
Okay, cool. So do you want to tell me how I would do that?
So if we run a Gatsby develop.
Let's see. I'm going to look in here because I don't think I have the Gatsby CLI. Let's see. It is here. So npm run develop.
Yeah, I see.
Doesn't like that. What didn't it like?
Whoa.
It doesn't like. Oh, I think did I mix my yarn in npm? Cannot find module.
Did you?
I sure did. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to remove the yarn lock. I'm also going to remove node modules, and I'm going to npm install again, and that will give us.
This happens like a lot to me. Just be like, oh, okay.
So in this one .env is actually part of Gatsby. It's a dependency. So we could explicitly set .env as a dependency, but we don't have to in this case. But yeah, the yarn versus npm thing is super tricky. I do that like at least once a project. I screw up and like yarn install something or npm install something and end up with 2 lock files. Hey Anna, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Gatsby has .env as a dependency. Do you know the answer to this one?
No.
Okay, I can answer this one. So by default, Gatsby will actually look for a .env.development and a .env.production so that you have access to those in your built files. I actually don't love the dot development dot production because it's kind of out of the norm for dot env, which means you have to run a special like dot env dot config and set a path. But it is kind of nice if you have multiple environments where it basically picks up based on your node environment. You can set the mode to production or development, and it'll pick up those environment variables. But yeah, in this case, it's just easier to use it directly. Okay, so now it should actually work. Let's run develop. What don't you like?
Whoa.
Store state provider? Uh-oh.
I think I don't know why, but this happened to me this morning. I thought it was on my end, so I feel maybe it would be the Hello World starter. I don't know why.
Okay, let's see if anything got updated since this got released.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a patch. So let's npm upgrade, and hopefully this patch fixed the issue. Oh, you had to install .env? Okay.
Oh wow.
It really shouldn't make us do that, but we can.
Did we? Okay, we added the Gatsby config.
Yeah, we've got our Gatsby config. If it fails again, I'm gonna drop this out and see if the starter will work, and because that'll help us narrow it down to see if it's contentful or not. So let's try again. Let's do npm outdated to make sure that all of our dependencies are up to date. I don't care about prettier. So let's do npm run develop. Yeah, there must have been a bug in the last release of Gatsby. So just upgrade to latest and we're fine. Okay, and so now we've got 2 URLs. And so this is the one we're interested in, right?
Yeah, this is where we can see how data is set up in the CMS we're querying from and how we can like structure queries.
Okay. And so this is very cool because like this Explorer, how much do you love this Explorer?
I mean, it's so nice because I could just like click stuff and then it just displays, and then it has this cool stuff where you have like this code explorer on the top thing where it actually shows you an example of how you create the components. It's awesome.
That's so nice. So I'm gonna click on portfolio item because that's the thing we care about. And then Gatsby gives us edges and nodes. I don't need any of the metadata, so I'm gonna go straight to nodes. And then we can see here we've got our project name. That's what we created. Our screenshot, and that's got a bunch of sub files. So let's start with probably fluid. We want it to be full width. And I'm just gonna get the source for now. And then I think we also wanted the
title.
I was thinking a description because I thought, oh, here's the description because we can use that as alt text. And then down here, I think what was the last thing we needed? Here is our project description as well. And oh, this is interesting. So this comes with a whole bunch of extra stuff. Wow, what is all that? Okay, let's start with this and see what comes out. Okay, so we can see our project name is Blastoff, our screenshot. There is an image, and it looks like it comes out of Contentful CDN. Oh, wow, look at that. I never knew that this happened. I just hovered over this link.
Same.
And Graphical just showed a preview. That's amazing. I did not know that worked. Okay, so this description is not what we want.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find something. Content marks? Maybe? Nope. Maybe there's something that we need that we're not getting here. Let's look at the downloading assets. We don't care about that. Don't care about
the description.
Well, I just want the rich text. Do I have to do something special for rich text?
Yeah.
What's up, Will?
So let me see.
Single node. Long text.
I know that getting rich text to like display on Contentful is a lot more than like how it would be with something like say Santiago or something. It's like
Man, I was here and I clicked the wrong link. Rich text. Here. So there's a whole section in the docs on this. So let's take a look at what it says. Rich text feature is supported in this source plugin. You can use the following query to get the output. I don't think so.
Nah.
Because it would say description rich text, right?
Yeah, and it's not there.
Do I need to use
the way? What?
Oh, weird. Look at this. It did like a whole thing. That's not right.
Yep.
JSON node type. Like, one of these. One of you is going to be. So we almost got some stuff here. Yeah, we're gonna have to like parse all of that. How does it? The way rich text is rendered. Oh, we need. Okay, so we just need a thing. Like we just have to actually pull in this. I get it. I understand. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, like I said, like the way rich text in Contentful is kind of weird. So you need to get like blocks from.
Okay, I understand.
Rich types and then.
So if I get
some
this
embed
JSON, so we'll basically feed this to that module.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I get it. That makes sense. And I just realized I totally forgot to do a shout out to the sponsor. So if you want to see live captions for the show, we got them running live at lwj.dev/live. And you can see the captions down here. Those are provided by White Coat Captioning. Rachel's doing that for us today. Thank you very much. And the live captions are provided, they're made possible by Netlify, Fauna, Sanity, and Auth0, who all kick in to sponsor the show to make it more accessible to more people. So as always, thank you so much for making that possible for us. And now that I've remembered to do the thing that I'm supposed to do, let's see if we can get this stuff on screen. What do you think?
All right, cool.
All right. So once we've seen this, what's my next step?
So we would want to like feed this into Gatsby.
Okay. So should I just like copy paste it or?
Nah. So yeah. Okay. So you want to copy paste the query.
Okay.
But then, yeah.
And where do you want me to put this?
So usually, if we were going to like query for like stuff, we would use like the Gatsby node, like .js to actually to get like the so we'd want to get like the slug and then try to like feed that into a template component that would map out. But I'm trying to show. What do you think? Should I just show the way of like querying from using like the new API?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
All right, cool. So let me see. So I'm just gonna pull up documentation. So
okay, I'm gonna answer a couple questions while you're pulling up those docs.
All right, cool.
Chris, Blitzjackson the robot has only existed for 11 months, which is why I only have an 11-month sub to the channel. And Learn with Ahmed, what's the difference between Jamstack and Gatsby? So Jamstack is an architecture. Gatsby is a meta framework for React that creates Jamstack compatible sites. So the Jamstack is the idea that you do as much work as you can during a build step and generate assets, and then ship those assets to a CDN or some kind of other document-based hosting. Like you could just do it through FTP if you wanted. The general goal of that is that by shipping Jamstack sites, you're eliminating a lot of points of failure because there's no longer a server that has to render templates. There's no longer a database. So if you get lots and lots of traffic all at once, you're not going to overload your node server. You're not going to overload your database. You're just going to have these static files, and CDNs are specifically designed to handle huge amounts of traffic. Gatsby is going to make that a little bit easier by having, actually, Obinna, do you want to take this? Talk a little bit about what Gatsby's doing to make sites more Jamstack compatible?
Yeah, so the way Gatsby's role in like the Jamstack is to help you like source data from like different places. So it's like the view of everything, and then helps you to get like data from like CMSs. That helps you integrate like CDN services and all of that, and like kind of just renders this to the browser as static files that later get regenerated into into like a React application on the front end. So yeah. That's mostly what Gatsby is as well. I just sent you the link to the doc so you could share.
Okay. Did you send that in? Let's see. It's creating pages from the file system. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull this up.
My power just went out. Let's act like nothing happened.
Oh no.
It's gonna come back on like 5 minutes, but let's just pretend nothing happened.
Okay, so this is the doc you wanted me to be looking at, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now that we have our query, there's a new. So usually, if you're familiar with Gatsby, you would notice that we'd have to go back to the we'll go to Gatsby node and then put that query in, and then try to like create like a template and then have all of that like information there from the template and create the templates. If that's like the normal flow of programmatically creating pages. And when I say programmatically, I mean like from so CMSs and stuff. Yay! And let there be light. So yeah. So that's why we're like programmatically creating pages. But so recently we're trying to make creating pages more intuitive, and because people are used to like having the slash pages. That's how static sites work. Like if you do like slash pages, you have like the page that you're looking for. So this new API is still in private beta. If you want access to it, you can just send like me an email or something. I can send that to you to test it out. Okay. So instead of doing all of that querying from Gatsby node, now we're going to try and query from the pages directory. But then we would have to kind of put some curly brackets around the. So if you look at the doc, can you scroll down?
Okay.
To
like here.
Yeah, no, that's for clients. So we also support like if you're trying to do like client only routes and all of that's cool stuff. But now we're just going to look at creating like collection pages. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So now,
all right.
Yeah. So now instead of having to create like a template and all of that, when you do like what you want the URL. So usually what we use a slug to do, we can just do that per components. Yeah.
Okay. So then that means that I would need to, let's look at this query here. So let's see if I get this. I am going to get a portfolio item, and so I would need its type name. Is that right? So I would do like this.
So if you wanted the what's it called? The name. So if you look at the example in the documentation, we can see that. So if you scroll up a bit, we can see that the name. If you look at the query, scroll up. Okay. Query. No, I'm trying to see. I'm supposed to say scroll down. I'm trying to see what's under the. My bad. So you can see that the query here, we use the name as what the URL should be. So what's in the component is the product.name, which would auto generate. Right. So for every file you create, it would show, say, localhost 8000 / the name or whatever. If you wanted the ID to be the way to identify that singular page, so that's how we can generate that.
Interesting. Okay. So then if I want to do this, I need to Let's see. Let's actually do a quick search for a single portfolio item so that we can see. We get one, and then we would want the get the ID and the project name. So we would want contentful portfolio item.
Yeah.
Let me get the type name because that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Here. So then the file name that I want, do I put this in pages?
So in pages. So because we're trying to make page creation like intuitive, so instead of having to do like the whole go to Gatsby node, so it just makes sense to put it in a /pages. Yeah.
Okay, so then I would do this dot project name dot JS.
Well, so the problem now is because this is still like in private beta, so this is a feature we're still trying to just get people to look at.
Okay.
So now it would be, so the name of the file would have to match the way the query is. So let's see the query.
Okay, so that's actually what I was trying to figure out because it's doing an all product, and then it uses product.name.
Yeah.
And so what I'm wondering is, I'm assuming it's using the type.
Yeah.
And so if I do all, let's just go back here. I'll do an all contentful portfolio item nodes ID. Stop. And then I get the project name, right? That would mean
so
that I want
it will be project
contentful portfolio item dot project name, if I'm understanding correctly.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
That's what it would look like. Yeah.
Okay. So then that means that in the file itself,
this
is this right? Not doing this.
No, no, we're not doing that.
Okay. So I'm gonna get props. No. Collection pages.
So what's above is for if you're handling like we're doing like any client like only routes. So if we're doing something like authentication, then we would use the array brackets. But now I really just want us to focus on the page creation. So that's.
Oops, there's a lot of Google stuff on that, but that link will work for you.
Yeah.
So okay. So when I make this, then I'm gonna get like import React from React, and then if I export, call this portfolio item, I'm gonna get props.
Yeah.
And so if I just dump this, I should assume that I'm gonna get some kind of like GraphQL data automatically added.
No. So you actually have to put in the what's it called, the query.
Okay.
In the components.
Okay, so then I import GraphQL.
Yeah.
From Gatsby. Yeah. And then I'm going to export const query. Is going to be GraphQL, and then I'm gonna put. I guess we can just start here with this.
Yeah. Can you check what this query returns?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Oops. Oh, yeah. That wouldn't return, would it?
Yeah, it would.
Am I not running? I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't like. Oh, I need to add a flag.
Oh yeah. Oh my bad. So when using like this, because it's an experimental feature, so like we need to add that flag for it to run.
Okay. Thank you for the subs, Forlo. All right. It does not like my.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Oh, that's
So
just me writing bad
you would,
code.
yeah.
That's okay. I'll live with that. I can handle my own bad code. Null 2. Make it look a little nicer, and then let's see if that fixes it. It says yes. So let's go look at this thing. I'm really excited about this. That's a cool API. So let me give it a 404 so we can see what got created. Holy buckets. No way. Okay, so it didn't give me any props or anything. Let me see if that's okay. So for whatever reason, it's loading, but it's not returning. Like it's not actually outputting my. Oh, I bet this needs to be a default.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes.
I think I saw a tweet by Dan Abramov about putting in like naming your functions.
Yeah. So this is something that I've started doing for debugging is instead of like export default and then making this arrow function like this, which is what I think the kind of the standard is. If you flip that around and you give it a function, then you get to name your component and have a default export. So it's kind of nice. I really like that as a flow. And now that I've made this a default export, we can see, look at that. So it pulled in, let's see, we get a path, we get a location. So these are all Gatsby things. Page resources. What else did we get? Data.
Yeah.
Dang, that's cool. I don't know why it has the
multiple. So it's getting all.
Why does it
I don't know why it does that.
Wait, is this getting it twice? Interesting.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So that's why I wanted to know what this this query returned.
Yeah. That is definitely odd that it did that. I'm curious. Like this is pretty wild though. Like this is really cool that it's able to do that. And I like, so it comes in with page context, which means that I could actually do, like, let's do this. Port, I'm going to write this out here because I'm going to get it wrong the first try. So we want a single thing. So I'm going to close this one down. Let me grab this ID. And then we're going to get a contentful portfolio item. We want it to have an ID of ID. And you're just not going to help with that, are you? And then I want ID. We'll put that in there.
Yeah.
And then I can say I want the project name. I want the screenshot. And again, we'll just get the source.
Yeah.
And then I want the description. And let's see what comes out. ID got an invalid.
Should we check? Should that be like if the ID is a string?
Oh yeah, that's not right.
Yeah.
That's not what we wanted at all.
Yeah.
So this is actually because it's don't do that. We want it to equal and then
equal to like a string. Yeah.
And so then this will make these ID. Okay, so then if I run it, there we go. There we go.
Yep.
Okay. That's pretty dope. I'm excited about that. Do I need? I'm still not 100% clear on how we get the
description.
Here's a description. Oh, here's JSON. I was getting the wrong description. Okay. Man, this is powerful stuff. I'm excited about this. So let's take this and we'll just drop this in straight up. Okay. And then
So
because,
so
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say the cool thing is that we will no longer have to use like Gatsby Node for creating like all of this. So now we can just get like all this information in one single page thingy, and then work with that from there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you, Michael Jolly, for the sub. Well, wow, sub and an insult. Is that what do you call it? Is it a sub Twitch when it's on Twitch? Yeah, no, thank you very much. So, Brandon, yes, this is the variable section. So this is really cool because it means that we can try out different pages by just swapping this instead of having to hard code the value up here. And the reason that's important in Gatsby is that if we look at this page here, you see how we get this like page context, and the page context includes an ID. That means that we can pull the ID as a variable. So when we write this here, this ID is going to come in from the page context, which means that we don't have to do anything fancy. We just know that whatever page got generated, we're going to get the ID for it, so we pull the right data for it. This is really nice because writing this in Gatsby Node is a huge pain.
I know, right? Like when Blaine showed me this, I was like, "What? Nice! Give me more."
AVH4, we are trying to pull in our portfolio from Contentful and get it up on the page, and we're using some brand new Gatsby APIs that make this stuff a whole lot simpler, which is really nice. So now that we've got this data, I actually think we can start getting something on the screen. So let's write this out, and I'm gonna get just the data because that's the only part that I need, and that's actually, let me reload this first. Why didn't you? Let's keep those props. Save. There we go. Okay, so now that I've saved, we get a portfolio item, project name, we get our screenshot, we get our description. Okay, so we can actually like build out a thing here now. So I'm going to get down to the data, and then here we can say item is data dot contentful portfolio item. And then if I just drop this item in here, it'll get simpler, a little simpler to read, right? So we've got our project name, our screenshot, description, good. So then I want to show the item dot project name. Did that not work? There. So now we get our project name. So if I go back to my 404 page here, and go to blast off, it says blast off now. So then we can, let's try to get this screenshot. Do you want to walk me through Gatsby image? Or can we use Gatsby image with this?
Yeah, we should be able to use Gatsby image with this.
Sick. All right, so how would we go about doing that?
So my approach to this, first of all, you want to like import image from my Gatsby.
Wait, it comes straight out of Gatsby now? Or do I need to install Gatsby image?
Oh, you need to install. Sorry, I forgot we were using clean slates.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
So there's nothing.
All right, so let's do npm install Gatsby image. And then while we're waiting for that to come in, I'm going to import image from Gatsby image. And then so with like regular images, when you use the file system, there's a GraphQL fragment for that. I assume that one doesn't work here.
It works. So it should do like the same thing. The only difference is that this API is built on top of the create pages API. So you can still do the same things. It's just the way it looks for the information is different.
Okay. Is that fragment somewhere that I can find?
It should be in the. So it's let me just link this to the chats.
Here we go. It looks like it's right here.
Yeah.
For a fluid image on a contentful asset with WebP, that seems like what we would want. So let's grab that. So I can just swap this out wholesale, I think. And then let's do npm run develop. And it's going to complain because I haven't used image, but hopefully it won't die.
Yeah. So sometimes when I'm like coding on my own and then the CLI starts to tell me something else, I know I'll be like, yeah, sure. I hear you.
Okay, cool. So these are all the options. So the one that I used is Fluid with WebP, which I copy pasted out of the docs.
Yeah.
WebP, for those who are not familiar, is a newer image format that's supported in most modern browsers. That is a lot smaller than standard image formats, and it also supports things like you can do an animated GIF as WebP, which is really nice. Supports transparency like PNGs, but at a much smaller size. So doing this, we'll use WebP first and then fall back to a JPEG or a PNG or whatever afterward, which I very much enjoy. So now that's running. Okay, I'm gonna save this. Let's do. All right. So I switched out to that contentful fragment, and you can see now we get like a base 64 version, the aspect ratio, its source set. Here's the WebP stuff and its sizes. Awesome. So then I can go in here and I can just put in an image.
Image. Yeah.
And that would be what? Item.screenshot.fluid.
Yeah.
And the alt we can use like the item.screen.
The item.
Shot.description.
So a cool fact that, and something I love about Gatsby is if...
Look at that.
Whoa!
Look at that. Look how nice that looks.
Nice.
That's beautiful. Okay, and then if we go back again to the 404 and go to Corgi memes, then it works.
Lay low.
Right? So, I mean, but this is such powerful stuff that, you know, we are about an hour into the show, and we've been able to not just model our content in Contentful, but get a site, like a new site stood up, and now we're getting data from Contentful. So whenever we make changes to Contentful, it's going to show up here. And we didn't have to write that Gatsby node file, which has always been, like, I think one of the biggest hurdles for people who are getting started with Gatsby. So I think that's really powerful stuff. I'm really, that's great.
Yeah. I was gonna say one thing I love about like the Gatsby way Gatsby handles things is if you don't add an alt tag, it would tell you that you don't have an alt tag to your image, which
really?
like supports access. Yeah, it would tell you, like, so if you run that, it would say.
Does it yell at me out here?
No, it's gonna yell at you on the CLI.
Okay, let me start and stop.
Did that show here?
I think it's still thinking.
It should tell you alt tag not found, or image. Your image doesn't have an alt tag.
I haven't saved this yet, so I'm just waiting for it to.
Oh, still thinking.
Hey, look, is it stuck or what's? No, it seems okay. Okay, yeah, it seems okay. It didn't. It didn't throw that error.
Anything?
May have been something else, but
I should. Well, it should show that.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes when I spin up like Gatsby sites, it would warn me about my personal sites. I had to go back to like fix up my accessibility, and they were mostly, which is really something I'm not proud of, because I mean, I always tell people to put alt tags, and then I had that problem.
I mean, it'll happen, right? Like I always run, anytime that I build something, I'll go and run the accessibility checks, and I also make sure that I can keyboard nav. That's a big one for me, is making sure that if I tab through the site, I can actually get to everything. Gatsby image might make it empty by default. I'm not 100% sure. That's a good question. We'd have to.
Oh, maybe
Yeah. I don't want to
This is
rabbit hole on
something.
that because I want to make sure that we finish with the contentful rich fields, and I also want to get
Yeah.
a list of these on the homepage. So let's
Let's do that.
move on, and I would like to figure out. So how do I show this JSON here? I want to get that into an actual like formatted description. So how would I go
Yes.
about that?
So you would need like a so let me just pull this. I know that like handling descriptions from Contentful is weird. So you can have like you would need like a rich text type plugin. Um let me get this.
Okay.
I'm trying to look at some. Yeah. You need to get this so you need the document to React components and the block for that.
Okay. Does it have like a? Does this do
Yeah.
defaults?
So you need to install this, so like npm is, yeah,
Okay. So let's install.
the renderer and the rich type one.
So sorry, was there another thing that I needed?
Yeah, you'd need to get blocks from rich text types, but
Oh, I get
think
you.
yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, this would
Let's
only be if we want to customize, right? Like by default, it would just
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Let's see what happens if we just use the one, and then if we decide we want to
do something else. Okay.
customize, yeah, we can do that. So I'm going to
Cool.
start with import document to React components, and I just run that against whatever the rich text.json is. Good. All right, let's try that. So I'm just going to pull this in directly. And then I think what I'll do is, let's get the description will be document to, I'm going to copy paste that actually.
Yeah.
And we're going to put in item.description.json, I believe. Let's check that.
Yes. Yeah. And then you want to,
item.description.json.
yeah.
And I think I can just leave that, right? Because if we leave the options by default, what I'm hoping is it'll like just work.
It will just automatically use, yeah.
Yeah, so let's put it in a div and see what it gives us. So I'm going to put the description here. Let's just give that a shot and see what happens.
Let's see. Is it done installing?
Oh, I got to run develop.
Oh, yeah. So, let me see.
Okay. Here. Look at that. Okay, so let's see what our actual markup looks like here. I'm going to make this a little bit more narrow so that we can look at this without.
Yeah. So if you have like Gatsby admin installed, like what that does for you is it kind of listens to your Gatsby develop. So whenever something new is added, you can just automatically
cool,
restart that for you. Yeah.
Well,
I've only ever used it in like a theme, like so if I'm using a theme, so I'm not, but then I think it should work in all cases.
Okay, cool, very cool. So this is great. It's a little weird that they used italics and not emphasis, but actually that's a perfect reason for us to do this. Let's do this customization. Let's use actual emphasis here.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to here, and we need this contentful rich text types.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to. So you say if I do, oops. So I'm going to install this. We'll go side by side on the terminal there. And then I need to get import marks, blocks and marks. Or I don't need blocks. I just need marks. And so I want marks probably dot italic. Let's maybe go look at this component or at this.
Let's just be sure what it does.
Very helpful. Great doc. Thank you. All right.
There's a tweet by Sarah Drasner, but I think she did it in like 2016, something about docs, so it didn't happen. So yeah, this plugin never happened. This doesn't exist.
So let's look at the marks here, and we get bold, italic, underline, and code. All right, so we want italic.
Yeah.
We can handle that. And then that's going to come from contentful, rich text types. And so then our options, which we can probably just do in line, will be here, render mark.
Yeah.
And then we can do marks dot, italic. And that gives us a handler function, which is just a component, it looks like. So I can take the text and then I can make it emphasis and put the text in there.
Let's see.
What am I doing wrong?
I think it's the... Yeah.
Okay. Let's give this a shot and let's see what happens. So now, when we go in here, it is emphasis instead of italics. So that is that's pretty handy, right? Like that gives us a pretty decent amount of control without a huge amount of work. You know, and we also got to dig right into the source code of a package there. So let's we share this.
Probably send in like a PR to add docs for this.
Yeah, that'd be, if somebody's looking for a good first image or a good first issue, this would be a great way to get involved in open source.
Yeah.
Would be to go and add in the README just a list of what the types are, and it looks like they're very thoroughly, like they're pretty easy to track here. You've got blocks, and so you have this list, and then you've got marks, which is this list.
Yeah.
So you would be able to just kind of create a list of those so that we'd be able to find them easily in the docs.
Yeah. So someone would like build something awesome, but like nobody knows what it does.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think a lot of packages that are really, really useful end up not getting used because people don't know what to do with them. And I think that writing good docs, having a good README, some examples, that stuff makes all the difference in the world for getting someone to actually try a new project.
Sure. Yeah. I agree.
Cool. Okay. So like, this is great. So now I'm gonna drop out the data dump here.
Yep.
And look at this beautiful. Oh, it's gorgeous. Hey. That is some good looking stuff going on in here. So then the next thing that we want is probably to get a list of these on the homepage. We got about 15 minutes to get that done.
Yeah.
So if I was going to do that, what do I want to do?
So you obviously want to get like, so the same, so maybe change the, how would I go? So usually I would think, how would I do this if I was using querying from Gatsby node? I would have to query for all the, so the title and like the index.js, and then have like map that into like a component.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe that would be a good place to start.
Oh,
let's see.
You know what we might be able to do, actually? Come to think of it, we could maybe reuse
this.
See, we'd have to figure out how to swap the title so it's not an H1 every time. But like, we could reuse almost this entire component to save us from having to rewrite all of this. Let's do that. I think that's a good idea. Let's take this one. We'll go into source. We'll go components, portfolio item.js, and then we can import React from React, and we'll export function portfolio item, and that's going to get an item, right? And then here we can get rid of that piece.
Yep. Then just get.
And then we could say something like
default.
I mean, we can do it
Export
either way,
default.
right? Like we can export default or we can import it as a named.
And all right, cool.
I've been doing named just because it's a little easier when you start moving between like ES modules or CommonJS or whatever. Like named imports tend to work a little more consistently between. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in this is page equals true. And then I'm going to do a heading component equals is page. And we'll just return, how would we do this? H1 children. Man, let's do it like this. We'll do children. So this is basically a full-blown component here. So we'll do H1 children, or we'll do H2 children. And so this is a little hacky, but basically what I'm setting up here is so that we can really quickly flag whether or not this should be a H1. And then down here, we can just make it a heading component. And if I spell it correctly, what we should see now is that these will return the right level of heading depending on where they are. And then if we go into this page here, we can now return portfolio item with an item of item and is page. And then the rest of this is what we just pulled out. So we just need to make sure that we actually import. Oh, we need to import all this stuff over here.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we can drop that part out. And we need to import our portfolio item from components. Got to double back. Components, portfolio item. And I'm going to rename this one to be page.
Right?
I'm
just looking at the, yeah. So I was just looking at the docs for what's it called, the file system page creation, and there's something for routing and linking. But like,
oh, okay.
I don't know. Oh, Blaine's in the chat. Blaine says, try the new collection routing API.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Routing and linking. If you wanted to link to the products, you'd have a component like this.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So.
Okay, so we would.
Yeah.
We do all products. We want the name, and we want the path, and then we just say whatever the URL is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's slick.
And then it would just link. Yeah. I didn't even see this.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Let's try it. So let's go into index here, and we can. We're gonna import. Oh wow! I don't know what language that was. GraphQL from Gatsby, and I need the link component. And so then we would want to export const query equals GraphQL. And we're going to.
He says I'm looking at the chat. He says there's a mistake in the docs. There shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be that.
There shouldn't
right?
be in the
Shouldn't be the colon. Use the period delimiter. Okay, so we just match the actual name here. So it'll be. I'm gonna copy that directly, and then we'll go back to the index file. And so what we're trying to do is we're doing a query, and we're gonna get all contentful portfolio item We're going to get nodes, and then we're going to get the name and Gatsby path, file path, and it was /portfolio. Okay. So let's give this, what does it say? Cannot query name. Oh, that's because it doesn't have a name. It's a project name.
Yeah.
Link is defined but never used. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. But I said,
let's try to.
There we go. Okay, that's better. Now if I go, let's take our props and let's just look at what we got. Stringify those props, make them look a little bit nicer, and let's go look at our homepage. Why aren't you outputting anything? Link is defined, but okay, fine. What am I doing wrong here? Export default function home, and we're returning pre-tag. Oh, I destructured props. Yes, I did. Thank you.
Thanks, Blaine.
I would have stared at that for way too long. Okay, so now we have our page resources and to query the node path, the file path argument must omit the file extension.
So make the /props, yeah.
Did that not actually pick up?
Maybe
there it is. Yeah, just had to save a couple times to get it to actually kick. So this gives us our data, all contentful portfolio item, our nodes, and then it builds these nodes. I still don't know why these are duplicated, but whatever. So let's I'm honestly like super confused by that, because in our contentful content, whatever.
I don't know why. I haven't ever had it duplicate for me, because it just creates one of it.
Yeah. There are 2 entries in our entire thing. So if I stop, I'm gonna just run a quick Gatsby clean. Okay, and then let's npm run develop again, and let's see if that cleans it up.
All right.
Let's go here. Yeah, it still has them doubled there. I don't know why. Let's not worry about it because we're almost out of time. So instead, let's get these things listed on the page. So what I'm going to do is we know on the portfolio item that we're getting all of this data. So let me get the description and everything, and let's go back and add that, right? So now we're going to get all of these details, and that means that we can do a we can destructure down to data, and in our data, which we'll continue to dump, we should then be able to, let's just put this over here. I think what we should be able to do is we can go with data dot all contentful portfolio item nodes dot. I'm going to clean that up. Let's clean this up. So we'll say items equals, and then we can say items dot map with an item, and we should be able to do a portfolio portfolio item, which we've just auto imported, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to bring this link back in, and let's set the item to item. Is page is going to be false. And what happens? This is probably bad form, but I'm just going to say item dot Gatsby path. We're just going to link the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we'd want to go clean this up later. We are going to need a key on this, which can be the, let's include the ID. So the key will be item.id.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. There you go. There you go. Look at it go.
Hey.
All right. So we get the doubles, but that's fine because now if I go in here and I click to blast off, we actually see blast off.
A blast off. Yeah.
Look at that. That is really cool. So then we can clean this up a little bit. Actually, why don't we just do this? We'll do a filter. No. How would we do this? We could actually, I think this will do it. New set. Can you map over a set?
To remove the doubles?
Yeah. Maybe I don't care. I was like, nah. So I could write a filter. I think so. The filter we would want to like get the index of the item and then compare it to the first index of searching for that item. But I don't care. We'll just have our doubles. But what we can do is we can set up our H1, and then we can also go to this page here, and we can import link from Gatsby, and we will link to the home page. Back to all portfolio items. And finish this. Okay. So it doesn't like something. I think that was, what don't you like right now? Back to all portfolio items. Am I missing something? What are you complaining about? Okay, so let's go over here. Corgi memes. Back. That is, I mean, that is slick. And I will say that was much nicer to work with than the
Gatsby node.
than getting into the Gatsby node file. This was, I think the doc, when the docs catch up and kind of make this the de facto way to do things, it's gonna clean things up a lot, because this is once it clicked and my head got around it, this is really intuitive. And then the ability to build your pages with these types of queries, like this, is really nice because it's effectively a relative link, right? I can just say, I want to link to that page, and it just does that, which is really, really nice. Well, cool. So yeah, Obinna, I think we've got ourselves a functioning portfolio site. This is super exciting. We are also out of time. So let me do one last shout out to our sponsors. Remember, we have live captioning going during the show and on every show from White Coat Captioning. So a huge thanks to the White Coat Captioning team for being here and making the show more accessible to more people. And thanks to our sponsors, Netlify, Fauna, Sanity, and Auth0 for chipping in to make this the most accessible show that it can be. Obinna, anywhere that people should go if they want to follow up with you or learn more about Gatsby? I'll start with your Twitter.
So follow me on Twitter. My inbox is like open. I'm happy to answer any questions. I also recently put out my personal site, obinnaspeaks.dev. So I have like some. I have been playing with this. So this is actually based off a starter, but I've been playing with it and adding like more features. If you go to like the blog, I will be putting out like mostly tweaking stuff like I like. So I just have one blog post there on right now where
Yeah.
I'll add more stuff. And yeah,
It's cool.
please reach out to me. I'm always happy to answer any questions. Just
excellent.
Ask me.
Very cool. So yeah, we'll put more links for Gatsby and what we did today into the show notes. Make sure you go check out the schedule because we've got some amazing stuff coming up. We've got Prince Wilson coming on to teach us Rust. We have Kelly Vaughn coming on to teach us Shopify. Emma is coming on to argue with me about tacos. Ben Ilegbodu is going to come on and teach us about React and TypeScript, which is going to be a super fun one. Eve Porcello, who is one of my favorite people on the internet, is going to come and teach us about some pretty interesting stuff with GraphQL. Shelby Spees is going to teach us about observability, which if you don't know what observability, like I don't, you're going to have a lot of fun on this episode because I legit have no idea how the things that she's doing at Honeycomb work. And I'm really, really excited to learn about it. Monica Powell is going to teach us about WebMention and Next.js. Natalia Teplahina is going to teach us about Vue 3 and Apollo Client 3. And the list just goes on and on. Kapehe is going to come on and teach us about static sites with Sanity. And we've got a couple in the can that I haven't even announced yet. So please, please, please go check out that schedule. Very, very, very fun stuff coming up on the show. With that being said, thank you all for hanging out with us today. Chat, stay tuned. We are going to go raid. Obinna, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And
thanks for having me.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.